a long time to find my way back. So in Mobilcom Austria Group, I did not find my place, or in Mobilcom Austria, and in Austria, I did not find my place, sitting in a quite small office. And I found myself for 3 years in Belarus afterwards, in a normal mobile operator. And this big challenge to build up something there helped me a lot to find back.
Okay, so what is it that drives you now today to give energy to your company?
So today I'm building up my own business with people that I work together. And what really motivates me is that you can define on your own at the end of the day what you provide. And I think having a unique selling proposition is always something. So it's the vision that we have a unique selling proposition that we have, and this helps a lot.
What is your unique selling proposition?
I'm convinced that with the people I'm working together, we can help building managerial finance better than any company in Austria up to 50 million turnover.
Cool.
And to help to provide an outsourcing service there. And it turns out that it works.
Great. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So how did your sports experience help you to build that company today? Is it the fearlessness we were discussing before, or what were the main skills you think you took from sports into your business and leadership life today?
Well, this is a very difficult question, because you cannot abstract, I think, sports skills and managerial skills that you learned in the professional career. So I think it goes hand in hand. And it's the first, of course, to take the decision to change something, which I also did. So I quit my previous job without having the concrete idea what to do and how to do. And it formed over time. And I have now, so the formulated goal that we have is still in development. But for sure, for me, it's a clear thing that you need to have first the goal, second the people that are working together to form a team, to bring this goal also, and to help them to understand the goal, and to grow, of course, and to do everything that is helping. Because my biggest issue on myself is, whether sports or working life, is that I take too much on my own. So in sports, you train too much, and if you train too much, at some point of time, you simply die. So you're not able to perform anymore. And also in my professional life, it's very much the same. So taking too much, taking too many customers at the end of the day, and then to realize, okay, this is too much. Now you have to broaden, and you have to bring up a system that is helping to grow. And one of my things that I'm always doing is, I'm a very structured person. I'm bringing up systems that where you have where you are able to, let's say, successfully be able to, that everybody is finding himself in the system, and everybody can do his own tasks within the system, and having also a platform where how to communicate and how to do.
Okay, so you're giving space to
structure and space.
Okay, in order to, and that helps you delegate.
Yes, definitely. And structure, for me, structure is super important. And also, but the difficulty is to step out of the daily things, to step out and think about structure, and think about where you are standing now and what to do next to achieve your goals.
How do you manage in a busy daily life to take this time to step back and reflect on your vision and goals?
I take myself, so from my sports career, I learned that my brain is working in the most creative way in the morning. And in my family life with two kids, it's quite tough to be in the morning somehow to take yourself out. But I'm taking myself out very, very early in the morning and do sports then on a bicycle. And there I have the most creative points, and I note them down in order to follow them up later on and to bring them into reality. That is the thing that I'm doing for my own. So that's my own.
Now I'm curious, define very early.
4 o'clock.
Okay.
And we miss each other in Vienna.
Yeah,
Like at 4 o'clock? Oh.
Yeah, no, but it's not 4 o'clock. Not usually by intention, but if it's too much, I cannot sleep anymore, and then it starts to work and to work and to work, and I get up and take the time to note it down, to structure it, and to set activities to be taken.
Well, here it comes again to priorities, right? So obviously your priority to work is then, or to do sports or to move or to write things down is more important, is higher than the priority to get a little more hours of sleep.
I would love to have more hours of sleep in these times, to be honest, but if it's not working, then it's not working. So because my brain is not stopping to work, and then I cannot sleep anymore properly, and I have to bring it. I have to save it somewhere else, and that's what I'm doing then.
Okay. Do we have any more questions from you guys? Because it's
before, so maybe you had it already in your discussions when I had to take the call, but do you do any mental work in terms of meditation or stuff, or is sports meditation for you? And that's basically, so how do you like keep your mental balance?
I think so. I think two things are important. I have people that I'm counting as mentors. So people that are following my professional and my sports career, and this is one part where I'm in a continuous, it's not coaching, but where I always try to get an outside view of things. And on the daily basis, it's the time I spend with my kids plus sports. Because so I'm doing in sports, I'm doing a lot of road biking and also in the mountains and hiking, road biking and skiing. And you need to bring somehow you need to be able to focus then and to have a certain meditation. So for sure, everybody knows when you start hiking on a mountain, at one point of time, you start to meditate. So it's more like you go and go and go, and you should keep your pace, and you should not be faster or more slow, because then you get tired. And with biking, it's the same. And then it's like a meditation thing also, for sure. And when biking, I'm stopping and I'm noting down all ideas on the iPhone, because I would forget them afterwards.
Okay, thank you, Claudia, for that question. You were talking about your mentors. How did they help you get where you are, and are you in return mentoring others?
Yes. Yes, of course. No, of course. So I was always participating also in Telecom Austria Group and mentoring program for, let's say, other leadership, youth leadership persons, and also I'm trying to give this back, especially in sports. So in sports, it's the easiest, of course, to bring it back into youth sailing programs and to explain and to tell, it's like it is, and it gives also something back to me, because if you have 10-year-old people, small kids that start to sail, and you explain how it is to participate in the Olympic Games and what it means if you go into a stadium with 80,000 people and the national hymn of Austria is being played, that is something really meaningful. And then you have kids with 10, 12 years, and they start to glow in their eyes. And you see immediately that they are somehow infected. And this gives also something back for me, for sure.
Okay, so you're trying to create that vision.
I'm trying to create that vision, and I'm trying to give something back of the very good things that I experienced in this field. Definitely.
Okay. Let me see in the chat. Petra, shall I read your question? So Petra was asking, how do you react when you realize that you have a limiting thought on a topic? How do you overcome it?
In the morning, in this morning session. So because if you have a topic and then the thoughts are circulating and circulating and circulating, and I'm trying to get other opinions on the topic and to get help also from people, and that I get clarity on these things. And then as soon as I have clarity, then it's easy, because after that you take an action plan. But the clarity, I think this is a really good question to have. How do you deal with a topic that is in your mind but it's not clear, and how to formulate it in a way that you can handle it in a better way.
Okay, and so how do you do that? You ask questions? Sorry.
Yeah, of course I ask. No, I ask questions. Also, I ask questions myself. So let's say, so if something is not clear, then I try to take a step out and see it from a different perspective also, to get on the topic clarity, and also how people, let's say, also for example, how other people behave or would behave.
Petra, you want to add something? Okay, I guess.
It looks frozen.
Yeah, I guess it's frozen. Yeah. Okay, and to go back to the initial question with the limiting thought, like something, I will never be able to do this, or this is too big for me, or this is something we cannot overcome. This is not, you're actually very clear on it, I would say. So how can you manage to get rid of these kind of things, thoughts? Christian?
I'm thinking.
You're thinking. Sorry, I just wanted to check whether you're frozen.
No, I'm thinking.
Okay, please think.
To be honest, so I think, so a limiting issue, or to have something like, let's say, I'm not good enough to achieve something.
That never happens.
It's very, I'm trying to answer, let's say, politically correct. If there is something that I know, for example, gold medal Olympic Games, and it's not possible. I knew it. So why to take a burden of an idea which you could not achieve?
Okay.
So you need to define what you can achieve, and because it needs to be realistic.
Okay, but
then these ideas which are for sure not motivating. So for sure to have a limiting thought of, I want to be first medal or first gold medal or nothing, then you take nothing. So what is, so this idea, to be honest, I don't really, so these limiting thoughts I'm trying to overcome that by taking certain steps to break the goals down and to take it into reality.
Okay. So setting, as Petra is writing, setting the realistic goals is part of eliminating these limiting thoughts.
Yes, or to take other goals. because, well, I will never be, I will never participate in the Olympic Games in running a marathon, for sure not. My weight is 110 kilograms and I'm 1 meter, it's impossible. And I admire people who do some such things, but for me it's impossible. So I should not take I should not even take one try to do so.
Okay, Claudia?
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, Petra and Christian. On the other hand, like we're working on innovation, we're saying like you have to think to the next frontier. If you limit yourself to it's not possible, maybe it's the better, like framing it is not it's not possible, but it would take that much effort that I'm not willing to, like take because I would need to train 24 hours, 7 days a week, whatever. Maybe it is possible, but you're not willing to sacrifice. Maybe that's because it's too far away. Because saying it's not possible at all, isn't it limiting us? Like I'm challenging myself here because I'm totally on your side that tends to set realistic goals and then I achieved it next. But on the other hand, aren't we limiting ourselves with that? Open question to everybody.
I think it's a good point, Claudia, because I guess Christian could win if he had enough money, if he lived in a country if he moved to a country where sailing is easier, next to France, for instance, and if all other environmental necessities would be given. It's not the talent that is missing. So maybe it's not possible in that setting I'm in now. If I had this, and this, it could be possible. And I agree, Claudia, if we limit ourselves too much, there is no revolution, right? There's only evolution. And if Elon Musk limits himself and says it's not possible to go to Mars, he won't go there. But I guess we all believe that someday he will. I think he will.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's something I will take with me to think.
It's a good point. What does anyone else think? Anyone else want to add something? Jerome, see you thinking.
Oh, it's a bit noisy in my background, so I don't know if it's now correct to speak. But I mean, I enjoy a lot the discussion this morning because I have a lot of parallels with Christian, having had a kind of a sport career on my level as well. And there are a few things where I fully can connect with what Christian is saying. And there's one thing that I wanted to express, because we always think about hard work, and there's only one way to be productive is hard work. But I have developed here a different conception, and this you learn a lot from sport, because in sport, like in cycling, that I do as well a lot. This is why I said Christian, cycling in the morning would be great. Not anymore in Vienna, but that would be great. In cycling, you learn that in order to progress, you need to recover. And the recovery phase is extremely important. And I think in a business life, when you are committed, when you have really high ambition or you have high challenges ahead of you, you need to really think that it's not only hard work, it's as well about having exercise, having healthy eating habits, and not neglecting sleeping time. So it's a combination of factors that it's not only just what you see on social media or what the Silicon Valley may be expressed, that it's only hard work. There is a recovery phase needed. And that's why, because I liked a lot what Christian expressed about. I need to go in the morning to get my thoughts, and maybe cycling is active meditation where my body is busy, so I can think better, and I stop and I note some ideas, or I find some business solutions. So here I can fully rely. And the other big learning in sport, to my view, is that progress equals happiness. Whatever situation you are in, it's the progress that makes you happy. But this is very personal. So these are the two points that were.
Thank you, Jerome.
I would like to add something, because so when you experience in work, and especially also in professional life, you experience really down. So a time where you failed and where you have really hard times. So one technique helped me a lot to focus, to get focused again, is to envision a happy place. Let's call it like this. So to envision a situation where you have been, you achieved something, where you have been super happy, no matter if it is on a private or professional basis, but to envision a situation where you have your own happy place and where you, a situation where you felt really, really good and really happy. This is helping then in difficult situations to focus and to recover very, very fast.
Visualization is as well part of the key. Yeah.
Okay, visualizing a happy place. Claudia, while I was listening to Jerome and Christian, there's one thought coming to my mind about the limiting thoughts, the innovation part. There is an ex-Google manager called Mo Gavdad, who I've been following and who writes about happiness, and his book is called Solve for Happy. And he writes about big illusions that are limiting us. And one of the big illusions he's talking about, there are 5, if I remember well. And one of them is knowledge. So we believe we know something, but in fact, we do not know anything, because at some point, humans believe that the earth is flat. And then someone realized that it's not flat. So our new knowledge is that the earth is round. And so many limiting thoughts we have are based on things we believe to know, but which are not actually, maybe are not actually true. And so to be aware that we actually do not know a lot can help us to overcome these thoughts. Petra is writing
that in the chat. It has a bit of a different notion, right?
I'm not sure whether my internet connection is now stable enough to speak, because I completely lost it before. It's even saying don't limit yourself. Don't think outside the box, just say there is no box, and don't limit yourself. And it's exactly connecting to what you said before, Claudia, with are we limiting ourselves if it's a too realistic goal? I think it's a goal your mind has to believe you that you believe it. If you can convince your mind and get into the right mindset that you believe in it, you will never manage it. Then you come up with nothing. If the goal is as realistic to you that you can believe it, don't limit yourself. I think that's a mixture. And if thinking outside a box means already that you have a box that you have to overcome, why even considering having a box? One nice example in there is 5 guys are sitting in a car driving from Miami to New York. What's the fastest way to go there? And then people come up with, yeah, they could rotate, that they can drive longer. But of course, the fastest way would have been driving to the airport, getting into the plane and flying there. But as it's saying, 5 people are sitting in a car, people stop considering other options. And the car is the box in that case. And I love the idea to just say, oh, there is no box. Just get rid of that box.
I totally agree. I have to share something with you on that because it's really fun.
We don't see it, Claudia. It's in your background.
A small letter to myself. I wrote 1 year ago in a work out loud circle. I don't know if you know these circles. It's where you get together with people and then you do a program to like achieve your targets. And one of the things you do is write a letter to yourself, Christmas in 1.5 years' time. So I wrote it last summer. And what you're proud of. So it's a typical, like mind game. And I wrote a letter with lots of things I never believed that could be achieved. And I have a list and it's 10 points in there and it's fascinating. I tricked my mind into believing it's possible and it was all possible. So it's like things happen that 1.5 years I never thought of that they would be realistic to happen. So I think that's the tricky part. And I like this one where I said, and I think it's also what you say, Christian, like, as soon as you vision it, that it could be realistic, then you can go and achieve it. I think it's fascinating, and it's also like taking you to the next frontier if you dare to like think that far.
Really love this, Claudia, and I think that's I mean, to the question knowledge. I mean, knowledge is a strength, but knowledge can be a weakness, and we talk a lot about now. You have to think out of the box, but there is one quote that I like the most, which is already older, from Mark Twain, who said that they didn't know it was impossible, so they did it. you know. And I love this because that's exactly the point. That's exactly what in the modern society, coaches and leaders and in trainers try to now bring back on the scene. Don't limit yourself, and sometimes your knowledge is a jail, is a prison, because it's a knowledge, or it's often it's not knowledge, it's kind of general perception that it's not possible. Yeah? And you see this a lot in sport. Everybody's saying, yeah, this time limit is impossible to break, this distance is impossible to break, and step by step you see evolution of methods, evolution of trainings, and all the records are now in the bin, or not all, but plenty of records. Yeah. I love this. Very important.
Petra added another quote from Henry Ford saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Also to the power of your mind, which will always drive you. And another example for this is, you have already, I'm sure all of you have seen, there's a road with no trees, nothing. There is one tree, and this is where the accident happens, because your brain drives toward a goal. So if you have something set in your mind, you are very likely to go there and to achieve it. Whereas if you haven't set any goal, you will not be achieving it. Which goes to another discussion also, how to manage, how to organize yourself to get things done. But okay, this is another discussion.
I'd like to add another thought to this.
Please, Patrick.
It might help. Claudia, you refer to meditation. Christian, you to sports. What helped me a lot is the path of consciousness, and trying to look at yourself as an observer, and trying to find that difference between what life really asks you to do and how life is in this moment, and what your mind thinks or project it should be like. And if you learn with meditation or sports to look at yourself and see the difference, then you see all these barriers also that you put yourself. And the more you observe them, the more you get a view on the dynamics that you have inside yourself unconsciously, of where you're limiting yourself and your surroundings. That has helped me a lot to get a view on that, accept that it's that way, and gradually give it back to life, and then really become yourself, and then grow into what life really has meant for you. And that can be an Olympic athlete, that can be a tree, that can be a gardener, that can be anything that life asks you to contribute to society, without putting a result at first as an achievement, because that is something that your ego projects that you should be, and not what life asks you to do.
Thank you, Patrick. As Michi is writing, time's up. Yes, it's 10. It's already 10. Time's flying. Thank you all very much for having been here, and thanks especially to Christian for having shared his experiences and insights with us. It's been a great discussion. We'll meet again in November with Simon Oremovic, who is HR Executive Director at RHI Magnesita, a very large Austrian company, and we will discuss about leadership and change. So I wish you all a very, very nice day. Thanks for having joined us, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Christian.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Patrick, are you staying?
Yes, or
Okay.
we can.
No, let's just let them drop out. I will just stop the recording. Yes.